As we enter a new age in technological reliance and availability, we have also entered a new age in digital media. Everywhere we go, we are impacted by media and advertising, whether you're walking down the street, or walking through a store, or even just sitting at home. Have you found that when you're waiting in line, you reach for your phone? Do you scroll through social media looking for something to watch or read to pass the time? When we were younger, screens were not nearly as prevalent as they are today. Children growing up in this digital age have a harder time escaping the world of television and video games than we ever did. This is why age-appropriate programs should be monitored by children's parents. Have you ever heard of the idea that video games can cause violence? It's true. TV shows are the same way. Many children make emotional connections to characters that they see on TV when they're younger, and if TV shows that children are watching are promoting dangerous messages, or maybe even just age-inappropriate messages, children will latch onto those and begin to emulate those behaviors in their lives as well. That's where parents step in. It's important for parents to make sure children are watching content that is appropriate for their age, and that the children are getting the right social and emotional skills in addition to the time spent on screens. The amount of time spent on screens has also become more of an issue in recent years. Many children are provided with screens as a method of entertainment, either provided with an iPad or a phone or some other sort of gaming system or TV watching system by their parents. While TV can be good as a way to escape boredom, or even just for something to do when their parents are at work, too much time spent on screens can be bad for kids. They need a certain level of social and emotional development that they can't find behind a screen. It's important for kids to be able to spend time with other kids in order to foster social skills and development between them. You can't get that kind of learning on a screen, only from other kids. To clarify, content monitoring is best for younger children as well. As children grow up, they have to be allowed a certain amount of freedom in order to make decisions that are best for themselves and for others. If parents keep a tight leash on kids until they're 18, they won't ever learn how to be responsible with their time or what they watch. However, younger kids don't necessarily have the ability to make those decisions for themselves in a healthy way, so it's important that parents, being the role models in place, make that decision for them. Another benefit to monitoring children's media intake from a young age is that the kids will have less to worry about regarding the world around them. Have you ever experienced news-induced anxiety? I think that's something that a lot of people have noticed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Watching numbers climb on the news can cause lots of anxiety in adults, and it can be worse in children. During the bombings in New Delhi, India in 2008, child psychiatrist Pervin Dadachanji noted that the repeated playing of gunshot sounds and bombings on TV caused anxiety levels to rise in children because they didn't know that it was a video being looped instead of more shots being played. Because children don't necessarily understand the context of what is happening outside, too much news watching can be bad for them and cause more anxiety because they don't understand or are able to comprehend the activities that are happening and the gravity of the situation. There are also lots of academic effects of monitoring content and time played on screens. Kids that spend less time on screens and instead replace that time with reading or writing or doing something creative have increased test scores dramatically. It's not enough to just reduce the amount of time that children are allowed to spend on screens. Instead, replace that time with something formative for your child's growth. The test scores will thank you later. So, while TV is a good source of entertainment for kids and can be important for them to relate to their peers, it can also be very helpful for kids to learn more about themselves and the world, because TV is no substitute for person-on-person interaction. So kids growing up in these modern days need to be able to remove themselves from screens, and it's the parents' job to set that precedent or example by making sure that the kids are watching appropriate content, aren't spending too much time on screens, and aren't watching content that will make them nervous about the world around them. Thank you.